It's like, okay, everybody's not watching the episode because they just got their ears blown off. Oh, so there we
one
go.
of these days we'll actually start at 9.
Funny.
70%.
Maybe episode 100. That'll be the thing we do. We start on time.
Dude, we started at 9 like 2 weeks ago.
We started on time. I would say maybe 12% of the time that we've done this.
Yes.
So,
And that may or may not be accurate.
all right, let's go. Hit the music. Yes, it says Rift. It should be River. We'll fix that eventually. We're here. You didn't have to do that. I have microphone control or volume control. But welcome to Beyond the River Styx. I am your host, Dean Machine. This is my co-host, Rebel, who just kind of does things. Today we're joined by Scytheman from Focus Gaming, Tap Out QQ from Free Agent Land, Cooper from Who the Hell Knows Where, Cambu from Vengeance Esports. Cooper's from Denial.
Not the team.
Yay!
Just
not the
from
team,
it.
just like just some jerk who does things
So,
there.
anyway, we're going to be talking about the jungle tonight.
The
like,
jungle.
With trees and stuff. Right? It has trees?
It has
It
trees.
has trees. And it has these winged
Do we
bat
pick fruit?
things.
Do we
No.
pick fruit? Is the fruit of our labor the minions in the camps?
No. No. See, the bats have...
I want to
Never
start
mind.
calling...
We're doing it-
It's no longer called jungle minions. It's jungle fruit. We'll run with that.
Wow.
I'm going to go
Alright.
clear the fruit and get in the lane. That's
and
it.
we had watermelon earlier. All right.
We did. Is that a fruit?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Very much.
I don't know my fruits and vegetables. I just eat green shit. That's all.
It's only
And
green
it's
on
supposed to
one
be-
side.
Where is this going?
Nowhere good.
I don't know.
Thank you,
No.
Cooper. Why am I here? What are you doing? Don't
All
touch
right,
this.
so watermelon buffed the jungle. That's good. I like it, Outerish.
Yes.
I like it.
Watermelon.
So they implemented the jungle. And the only thing everybody's talked about this past week is the jungle and how much they hate it. They love it. They think it shouldn't go away. They think it needs to die in a fire. That how many people are like, I'm leaving because the jungle is a thing. I'm staying because the jungle is a thing. So Hi-Rez is effectively split the scene right down the middle because it's like, holy crap, I hate this game. All of a sudden, people are like, oh my god, I'm coming back to this game all
And
of a sudden.
all your internal organs are falling.
So I guess we'll start with our two first-time gentlemen guests. Do we flip a coin for which one first? I guess we'll go with Cambu
Cambu.
first because he raised his hand like
He's
he
like,
wanted to say
"Me,
something.
me."
So you volunteered yourself, Cambu. What do you think of the jungle, and what do you think it means to the game?
Oh, well, jungling, as a mid player, I play mid for Vengeance Esports.
Yes.
It's terrifying. It's just I feel like God all the time, looking everywhere on the map. It's so scary. I personally don't like jungling as a whole because it's just
Fair
one
enough.
more thing to worry about.
That
I
seems
think,
to be the complaint I get
it's-
from a lot of the mid players.
So
Yeah.
would a ward help that?
It would, but early on you don't have that gold to spend on wards.
But don't you have
So-
4 other teammates though, right?
Yeah, but they got to spend their time in the lane. They're
do,
juggling.
yeah,
they need to
yeah.
be doing their
Yeah.
other things.
I mean, I'm just saying.
they can't be bothered to help out the mid
I mean, they're
laner.
only gonna have one jungler, right?
Exactly.
It's not
I'm
gonna
all
be
alone.
like 1-1-1.
I'm lonesome. I'm vulnerable. I'm so scared.
Vulnerable. Dude, you
We've
could
got
go like
jungle.
Ymir mid. Problem
So what they
solved.
need to do is they need to implement the second jungling item. So we have 1-1-1-1-1. 1-1-1-1-1. There we go.
Yes.
One jungle on this side, one jungler on that side, one lane over here, one lane over here, and then the one guy in the middle. And it's all even.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's exactly
Although,
where Spoo
like-
wants it to go.
Since the patch, jungling's got I think a little bit better. Because you can't go full-time jungle to be that effective unless you get like every single gank successful, which is it's risky, but it's not going to happen in the competitive game. So yeah, I do feel a little bit comfortable with the change they made to the Mummer's Mask, but it's still, I don't think it could be improved on. It's not perfect.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I agree. I do like the change. How you're now not almost always going to be taking away the buffs because otherwise you wasted a bunch of gold. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Tap Out, what do you think, sir?
Well, first of all, I think it's awesome that Tyrus tries out new stuff like this. And second thing is, I think that Smite ain't the right game for a jungle. You cannot look behind you. It's your field of view is very
Limited.
what's it called? Limited, exactly. And I don't know. I really liked the old meta where you had the lane phase where you fought 2-on-2 and you tried out new combos. You tried out combos to counter the combo, even in the pick and ban phases, and you tried out who's the better laner, who's playing better on the lane. I really liked that. That was some kind of who got the better skills, who can improve maybe their skills 2-on-2, and I really wasn't in love with it. And by now it's just you have one guy PvEing in the jungle. He's going for buffs. That's pretty boring. And at some point he's gonna gank. The gank lasts for maybe 5 to 15 seconds maybe. That's pretty much all the action. Nothing else is gonna happen. He's gonna show up on the lane, maybe get a kill in 10 seconds or something, and it's gonna go back into the jungle. So it's intense, and you never know. It's like what Kambu said. It can happen all the time.
Sure.
You have to be really scared, and well, of course, it gives you more tactical options, of course.
So I'm gonna jump in. Is there a generally accepted way for people to move through the jungle? Like, you go to this buff, you go to this buff.
Is there a path that has to be taken?
Well, I think it's so new. It's so new, and people trying out new stuff. Maybe even counter jungling. Consider going for an early red buff on the enemy, maybe. Maybe it's even about knowing the enemy better, and maybe knowing the enemy jungler. When you know that, for example, Team X Epsilon is going for blue buff, gold camp, speed buff, you know that he's not on the red buff. And you can maybe invade the red buff and steal it, but it's only PvE. I mean, of course it's tactic, of course it's clever to do this, but it's still only PvE. And I don't know, Smite was always this PvP game, who has the better skills, player versus player, and not player versus gold camp, and who gets the gold camp earlier and better. I don't know, I heard that League of Legends is some kind of a who gets more gold more effectively. And I was like, wow, this sounds really boring. And I was happy that Smite is this PvP-based game. And by now it has come like League of Legends now, and I'm not sure if we are going the right way like this.
Okay. Scythe, what do you think?
You should ask Coop first, because I said I wasn't going to monologue, but I'm going to take at least 10 minutes.
I'm going to take a little bit too.
Alright, do it, Coop.
Alright, Coop, you monologue first.
You're going red. Go.
It's not going to be long. I have a couple points to bring up. The before the jungle. Before the jungle happened, you had 2-1-2 in the lanes, okay? When someone left the lane, you either knew they were going for a buff or they were going to gank. Now, the ganks didn't happen that much. Like, if you were out of lane for an extended period of time, you were getting behind. So they didn't happen frequently. Now, with the jungle implemented, you are always on your toes. You have to have a ward or you have to be scared 90% of the time. And with that change, I don't think I agree with what Tap Out said, that jungling isn't right for Smite. I think it can be, because the point he brought up where you don't have a large enough field of view, that's really the skill of Smite. I mean, when you're running away from a Thor, you don't have the field of view behind you to know which way he's going to land on you. You have to dodge.
That looks terrible.
So one of the things is I think the map is too small to have the jungle in Smite. I think if they increased the map size, maybe 10%, added another lane to the jungle, it would be a lot better, because you have a bigger time gap as to where he can travel between the lanes. I think that's really the only problem with the jungle right now.
So, but isn't part of the idea of the jungle and the idea of the smaller map and the idea of their game in general for it to be more fast-paced, more competitive, more stuff happening all the time?
Action-packed.
Yeah, action-packed.
But there's a point where you have to say there's got to be some sort of... in top competitive play, it's going to be slower.
Sure.
Like it is, no matter how fast-paced you make the game, any top competitive game is going to drag out longer than a pub game, automatically. So
Look at hockey.
Yeah, 3 overtimes. That was ridiculous. Anyway, so if you make this map small, right now, there's too many gods in the game that can just jump in, initiate, drag you back, blow you up in the short little controlled area, and then quickly get to left lane in a matter of seconds. It shouldn't be that way. You should be able to say, okay, I'm ganking left, and right lane should have this sense of safety, not still having to keep on their toes for 5 seconds later another gank could come out.
Yeah.
So if they increased it, you still have that action. You still have to ward. It becomes a bigger team game instead of individual skill. But at top competitive play, I just think it's too controlled right now in these small areas.
If I can say something.
Go.
Like, you said that there's more action now, but don't you think that the action is only for the jungler? Like the left lane is waiting for the jungler, the middle lane is afraid to go out, so he's waiting for the jungler for a gank, and the right lane is maybe when it's 2-on-2 PvPing, and maybe even waiting for the jungler for 3-on-2.
Oh,
but
yeah, I agree that.
Yeah.
I agree that the action isn't where it should be, but that jungler is still ganking at every lane. He's not just ganking one lane the entire game. So each lane, there's created action from this jungler. There is more action created in each lane. It's just I think it's too much action too quickly.
What about more of
the
fact that everybody's waiting for the jungler to do something, versus if the map was bigger and say the jungler's over on the left lane, well now it's an opportunity to do something because either A, we're waiting, or B, you have a call. Or B, because we want to cause some disruption over here while our guy's way over there. It's a lot of... It's so new. That's one of the big problems. Any last words before we let Scytheman monologue?
No, that's it.
Scythe, you prepared to monologue?
Do your
excited.
Monologuing Scythe, here we go.
I'll start by saying, when they first put Boombas in, it was obviously a problem. Junglers were getting way too out of hand way too quickly. 5 levels on mid, 3,000 gold on everyone who are just sitting there and farming. I think the change they made to it was a good way to tone it back. It's starting to encourage the jungle, not necessarily to jungle different gods, but to change it from less of a farm, I'm ahead of everybody now role to, okay, I can use these buffs and make something happen, or I can give them off, encourage my lanes to do something with them, and get a little further ahead in experience and gold. Now, as far as jungling itself goes, I'll agree with Coop and say that the map right now is a little too small for it, but I don't think the role in and of itself is a bad thing in Smite. I think it could work. I think it's actually brought more action into the game, and you can say it's all surrounded around the jungler, but that's fine because that's put more strategy into every other lane. You now have these 2v2 fights occasionally that can swing one way or another depending on how aware of the situation you are. You have 2v1s, which are more of a battle of how can this solo laner keep up an XP and gold and not lose this tower immediately. Mid lane can't just, I have the worst god, so I need to sit under tower and just let him swing auto attacks at me until about 4 minutes, because then somebody's going to come over for red buff. Like, the timings and everything in general have kind of gone out the window in lieu of something that's a lot more dynamic, I think. And as far as not having enough gold for wards, as a mid player, I'm going to call bullshit. Because with the exception of when you first leave the gate, I get 1 to 2 wards every time I back, and I never feel behind unless, I've lost deaths at some point.
Y'all
and
done?
It's all about...
nope.
Yeah, sorry.
Dude, go for it.
It's all about just keeping keeping aware, which is something I think a lot of Smite players have lost, is their ability to realize that MOBAs, you have to be aware of everything that's going on. Doesn't matter what's going on in your lane, per se. You have to pay attention to fucking the entire map at all times. And yes, the perspective's different, but that doesn't mean that you still can't do that. And now I'm done.
Fair enough. So, do we want to let our caller call?
Yeah,
in? No?
yeah. I mean, did you guys have any rebuttals?
Yeah, any
things to
rebuts
add?
or comments on what he said
Any
in
of
his
you guys
monologuing?
listening, you can call us up on Smite Talk in Skype. Just Smite Talk in Skype.
Skype. Yes, Skype.
Skype.
All right, go ahead. Who wants to rebut what Scythe was saying? Tap out. You look like you're very intricately thinking there. You have the face of going, oh, this, I must...
Soon. No,
yes, soon.
No, I'm just thinking randomly.
All right, well, I will call our first caller up.
I'll call our first caller. All right,
Or
first
something.
caller. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
Yay.
Welcome.
So, what is your question and or comment?
I just wanted to comment on the discussion pretty much that you were having about the jungle.
Absolutely.
Well, that's
And
the point.
for the most part, I don't like the role in the game as it is. I'm gonna go with kind of like what Cooper and Kambu were saying, where the jungler for the most part gets all the action, and I feel like when you're in the laning phase, you almost have to wait for the permission of the jungler in order to play the game. And it's like you're farming minions, and you're kind of almost like a minion yourself, and you have to wait for the jungler to come, and then you can play the game. At least it feels like that for the first 15 minutes of each game.
Okay, you're waiting for them to make the plays that
That's
you
a
want to already make.
long-
And then back to what Cooper said is that ganking is a bit safe. The way it was before is if you went to rotate the gank and you failed, you were way behind then because you lost out on a lot of experience. You didn't get your gank, and you had to go back. And so there was a big risk to doing those ganks in the side lanes. And now that risk seems to be gone for the jungler. So, I mean, even if he fails his gank, he doesn't fall too far behind at all.
Because, I mean, he's just doing it kind of in between his buff timers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, theoretically, he shouldn't miss anything, really, except for maybe going back and healing up before he goes back to the buffs. But, okay. Any comments from the panel about that?
I have
Okay.
something, but I need to think about how I'm going to word it.
Okay. Other than get the GTF off my phone?
No.
Okay.
So, did anybody have any rebuttals? No? Nothing? All right, we're going to go to a
Okay,
caller.
wait. Hold up. I have what I want to say now.
Okay.
You say the gank fails, he doesn't get behind, but at the same time, he doesn't get ahead. Like, especially with the current change, there is no real getting ahead on that jungler anymore unless you get that kill. So if you're just lurking in one lane, and they know you're lurking in one lane, it's just like what was said before. It opens up the other side to get aggressive because they know you're sitting there waiting for a gank.
Especially if they have map vision via
This- I mean-
wards.
The jungling makes controlling the map that much more important. Like, one thing,
Yes.
when the failures that I had at jungling, which everybody who watched me play, it was like, you're a terrible jungler, never do it again, please. But the things that I found most irritating as the jungler was nobody on my team was warding, and I had no idea where their jungler was, and sometimes I got killed by their jungler because he was in my territory, and it's like, I need some help here too, come on. You know, I'm not like omnipotent here, I don't know where the other side is all the time. And it was very unnerving being in the jungle, being like, if I go to red buff, I don't feel very safe. And there was several things that we were discussing on DSI, which is like maybe shifting the jungle around to where like your core buffs, like red, blue, and move and cooldown, are more towards the back of your jungle, and that way it's more XP stuff in the middle that are easy to run in and grab and steal. You could steal them easier, but it's not going to absolutely destroy you if you don't get them.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think if they want to keep the mask in the game as it is, they really need to rearrange the jungle, either by making it larger or rearranging the buffs.
Yes, warding as the jungler was something that I was trying to do. And then I got killed a couple times trying to ward. It's like he knew where I was. He was probably watching my stream. That's it. I'm blaming the stream sniping. That's my out.
Yeah, that you like
I'm terrible.
put on like 0 delay.
Yes.
Yeah, good job.
Yes. Thank you. That would promote more passive play. How would that promote more passive play? Well, everybody's saying you're talking about my jungle, like restructuring the jungle.
Yes. Because no one would have any.
Well, I think something needs to change with the map in general if you're gonna make jungling a full-time thing.
I don't like what. I
You
mean,
expand the side lanes out and you
Yeah.
put
I know.
You put it back to the old map with the outside lanes?
Yeah, add an
No,
extra set of side lanes on the outside, and that's the only way to get to the red buff. And then we're gonna add another buff. It's gonna be green and yellow.
I don't know, I think there may be just any opinion that there needs to be a few more buffs, like
the
in general.
map would
Not
be
buffs,
approximately 10% larger. Would have more camps. It works perfectly with what you were thinking, Cooper.
I'm not commenting on what you're saying.
I'm a bad.
I can pull up the picture of the old map and be like, we should just go with this.
No, we really shouldn't.
But everybody loved those outside
they
contestation
didn't.
of buffs. That level 2 fighting for red buff?
No one liked that.
It was fun.
No.
wrong
I
with
liked
people?
it.
Yeah, see, Tap Out liked it.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one.
Ependary, something that he's bringing up as to why we're more passive play. Just because we're wanting more mobs doesn't mean we have to keep the current placement of where the buffs are. If you add more mobs, you're going to have to add more lanes to get to those mobs. You can't just have singular paths. The map is obviously going to have to change drastically. Whether you have right now, the map is pretty static, and how it is, it's pretty easy to get around. If you add just 2 mobs to this map, there's really no other place you can put them right now, and you would have to completely change the pathways.
Sure you can.
So instead of having, what was that?
There's plenty of places to put them. Like, there's a lot of big, empty dead spots.
Yeah,
Not
I mean, you could
without
throw
just
'em,
cluttering them.
right
Not
between
now.
current gold and red, and just
Yeah.
drop it right in that big old
Yeah,
block
there's
of hole.
like nothing there.
Yeah, but that's the path to gold. You know, then you
neat.
cut out that path to gold.
No, you don't put it
So-
in the path to gold. That like
No,
triangle.
I know. You're talking about in that tree area. Still,
Yeah.
that's part of this game. The walls, the vision, the barrier that you have between 2
You'll put up a
paths and the
fence.
other. So anyway, so changing that, you fucking made me forget my point.
Yeah, that's what we like to do. Ruin your points.
Oh my god. Oh, anyway, so when you add more mobs, we don't necessarily have to keep red buff where red buff is. We can displace it a little bit so it's still easy enough for counterplay of the other lanes, but not easy enough to where, oh, I'm a jungler, so I automatically get red buff. The map's going to change if this is the direction we want to go with it.
One thing that I actually wanted to bring up
Yeah.
was
Uh-oh.
a different way of looking at the map. This is actually being talked about in several different areas of turning the map sideways to where you have Fire Giant on top and gold at bottom, or one of the other ways, to where every time the game doesn't load up, you're not like, is Fire Giant on our left or is it on our right? It doesn't switch. It's always on top or bottom, or maybe they should make it. No, they can't make it always on left or right because then if you have it vertical, it can switch. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you did top and bottom, that would be the way you could do, you know.
This isn't League. That's what League does.
That still doesn't fix that still doesn't like
Well, League
unify,
still has it
unify
like in corners.
anything if you make it top or bottom, because it's still gonna pretty much, unless you just keep it static, it's still gonna randomize.
Yeah, I mean,
Where
And you still have the same amount of
Gold Bear and
space,
Fire Giant
not
are.
increasing anything.
no, it's just it's basically changing how people think about it. It's like, you know,
Yeah, but do we want to really make ourselves more like these other MOBAs? Like their tagline at this point is that we're different from the rest of them. Why are we gonna shift it towards?
I agree.
I mean,
well, I mean, then you can leave the map vertical, but how about if you're actually on the make it to where there is a static placement of the map to where Fire Giant and Gold are actually on the same side every time you're in the game. It's just we happen to be the top guys this day.
Like, what they really need is, if you want to do it like this, is a better lobby system. in my eyes. Because
Yeah, you'd have to have some
hosting
way of
it
knowing.
And then we jump onto the server. It's not really a proper lobby system, let's be honest.
Yep.
Like, if we had an actual lobby where we could join for private games, it would be fine because, the side that's on the left every time is going to have gold on the left, and the side that's on the right is going to have gold on the right, or something along those lines. But right now, it's really a crapshoot. Like, even if you jump in first, it only guarantees you first pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your call, Doretta.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And we have another
Caller.
here. So I will click on this button.
You'll click on that button and make him
And we will
be
call
here.
Flynn.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hey, good. Oh, you're there. Good.
How are
So,
you?
what
You
is your-
are live. Talking to our guys. What is your question, sir?
What
or
do you think
comment.
if they added some form of danger to the jungle instead of just the jungle buffs, like traps or some form of mob that adds a kind of danger to it?
I think it would be awesome. Before anyone else takes a danger, falling boulders, spike traps, like guillotine, danger. Yes.
Shut it, Noah.
Okay, go.
Do we add the
Is this
Indiana
a,
Jones
is this a
hat to that?
real
Yes.
is this a real question you want an answer to?
Yes, I think he does.
I would believe so. I want an answer to it. What do you think, Coop?
A danger? Danger.
I think it's
Yeah.
Robot.
not to
It
be-
says
Danger,
danger.
not to be
what
blunt
do you
to
think
you,
what
not-
it would be like?
yeah, not to be blunt to you, but it's probably stupid.
Not to be
Like,
blunt, but
you
you're an
can't-
idiot.
no, it's-
Not to be
Because-
blunt, but I'm gonna be blunt.
the reason there's two reasons why. One, that's trying to fix the jungle that you're trying to do. Unfortunately, when anybody else goes through those paths, it's screwing them over as well. So it's creating a problem for
Well, how about it's a
everyone.
danger that only lasts for a certain player that stays in the jungle too long?
Then that's a completely
You stay in the
bad
jungle for a
guy.
minute. The shark is out to get you. The land shark is going to come and chase you down.
That would get rid of jungling in
5
a
minutes, a
heartbeat.
kraken appears. Ah!
So if we want to get rid of jungling, that would be a good mechanic to put in, because no one would want to
No,
play.
shut it.
But I mean, the other thing is we don't want to start adding things into the game that are trying to cover up the real issues by masking it with other things that we're going to include in the game.
See, I
Like-
I don't think he was going for that.
Like
More of it
normal
to mask it, more of it as it's just a thing to add along
I mean,
with
it wouldn't be
everything
like a
else.
serious threat, but it will be enough of a threat that it makes you want to stay out of the jungle more often.
Yeah, like you kill all the jungle buffs within like 45 seconds, and then this extra dangerous thing spawns that you can kill for extra gold, but it also might kill you or your random teammates.
Well,
That would be interesting. Well, I mean, like, think about it. If you cleared your side of the jungle, it spawns this like super creep that you can kill for like an extra level of gold. But you could die. But if you get it, it gives you like, I don't know, an extra level of gold. Or
that would just create a team fight there every 4 minutes.
What?
Like teams would find out.
then all of a sudden it's like all the lanes disappear and they're like, holy crap, there's super
Yeah.
creeps up. We better go
It
fight
would
them
just
for
be
it.
a third objective, basically.
Yeah, it's a third objective that
Right.
roams. That'd be
A
that could
third
be very-
roaming dangerous objective.
That's something
They
that
can
goes
gank you.
Really powerful. Like if you clear all the jungle buffs early on, he'll kill you almost in a few hits.
So what's the point of having it?
Because it would be
No,
hilarious.
shush, do your animation stuff.
Stop taking logic to this.
I know. that
Well,
having-
I thought he was asking a serious question.
No, I mean, I think it could be interesting. It'd be hard to do with the game mechanics that are in the game right now. Like, they're just... I just don't feel interface-wise there's anything that it would be adequately able to explain to the player what's
What
going
the hell
on.
is going on? Suddenly, you're being chased by a land shark. Where'd it come from? We don't know. What'd you do to cause it? You don't know, but you're dead now, so here. Welcome to Smite.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that would sufficiently, like, explain
Pandora's
to you-
box opens out of the ground and sucks you up.
Yeah.
Wow.
And pops you randomly onto a lane.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah,
It's
throws
like
you in a random part of the
teleportation.
map. Minotaur, Fire Giant, wherever.
That's what we need. Junglers
No, not in the
have
enemy
a way to
space, like,
teleport.
anywhere in the lanes.
That brings up an actually interesting mechanic. What if there's a spot in the jungle that's like behind the Fire Giant cave that is a portal that you jump into it and it pops you in the middle of one of the lanes randomly?
Good.
I'm gonna go
Oh,
for it.
yeah.
Let's go. Go into the portal. Bam! I'm here.
Please do not give Hi-Rez any ideas. Please.
No.
We will see this
The
next
day one of this
patch.
guy's ideas, I quit. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Any idea that comes from Demon, I'm done.
Call us up on Skype before we lose power from thunderstorms.
Oh God, yeah.
Just
it is
throwing
thunderstorm.
that out there.
Just throwing it out there now.
If
there
we disappear,
is a storm coming
it
through.
doesn't necessarily mean something bad happened to it.
It's very
It
likely.
might mean something bad, but it's probably just something exploded. So
It's
you're
just
good.
it's just raining. Do you want to take over this conversation for a minute while I go cover my pool?
I absolutely do.
Okay, because I'm doing terrible at
Wait,
this
what
kind
are we talking about?
I'm gonna cover my pool real quick. You
Talking
continue.
about Demon's terrible ideas.
Okay. Yes, we're talking about Demon's terrible ideas. You should never, Hi-Rez, never do what Demon thinks would be a great idea. Mediocre ideas are generally safe. True. So,
All
yeah.
of Revel's ideas are 50-50.
All right.
If he can actually formulate a sentence to explain it, they're 50-50.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. What can I say? All right.
I
Well,
actually
thank
like the land shark. Sounds awesome.
you for your call, sir. We will get on to some of our others who are calling us on Skype on Smite Talk.
I'll continue to eat my SpaghettiOs.
The wheat. All right, Styx, did you have any comment to the danger jungle?
No.
No comment. Okay,
No,
just making
no,
sure.
no, not no comment. No is my comment.
No is your comment. All right. No to the danger jungle.
No elaboration.
None.
I think we about covered it when we start talking about lane sharks.
Yep. All right, we have a caller here who may or may not pick up, so we're gonna go for that. So while we are waiting on this, you guys can call us up, join this conversation about the jungle, where it's going, all that.
Hello.
Smite Talk, bottom right. Otterish, you are online. What's up?
Thank you. I got a question. What if they made items like traps that could catch out the other junglers and punish them in some way, but they could be spotted by wards?
That would be neat. Danger jungling 2.0.
What?
Would that cost gold, or just?
Like you could buy them like for the same price of a ward or something and place them in certain places in the jungle to try and catch them out.
I think that's
Okay.
That's interesting.
So if you do that though, why not just buy a ward?
Yeah.
because it's a
No,
trap.
but it'll like punish them in some way.
Yeah, it'll stun them, it'll damage them, it'll ping them, reveal them to the whole
Punish them.
everything.
How much would it punish? Like
Yeah,
damage?
exactly. It couldn't kill them
Right.
because
That would
No,
be
not
the
like kill them. I mean like make them
Yeah.
visible on the map for a certain amount of time, or just something that would be beneficial to the enemy team.
like a slow or
or
a
a ward.
And this is like a one-time thing. It just once it's activated, it just damages them and then it's gone. Or is it like?
I mean,
I
I know it's
should,
just an idea. We're not trying to pick apart your idea. It's just
Yeah.
we're all here to give feedback, and we're just trying to.
It's
Yeah.
interesting.
I just think it'd be a good way to like try and counter the other jungler, like punish them for doing
lose them.
something wrong.
Instead of using money on items, you'd use money on that.
I think it disappeared.
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Uh.
Oh, we can't hear Revel and Demon.
Oh.
Yes,
Did
you
they-
can.
now we
Everyone
can.
else could because demon.
I was
Never
typing.
mind.
I'm sorry.
Okay, it's Demon's
Okay.
fault.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. I was getting rained on and possibly struck by lightning.
Oh, boo-hoo.
It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it might be interesting depending on how it would be set up. So,
Okay.
like traps.
It depends
or-
on the mechanic they put into it to punish them.
like a reverse ward.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think it might be fun. The sticking point on those would be cost.
Yeah, that would be the only problem. But I mean, they could. It depends on the price they want to make them, but it just depends.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. All right. Well, thank you for your
But
call,
I
sir.
think there could be a problem
Thank you.
when you just place it in front of a camp, like at the cooldown camp, maybe just in the entry, and you're gonna walk into it no matter what you do.
What is this idea that we were discussing?
You know, there's one way I could see this possibly being worth it, and this is just to give merit to this idea. What if it's just? I don't think it should be revealed because revealing it's kind of dumb. Actually,
Very
no, it
strong.
could be revealed. But what if it's just like a vision trap? Like first enemy god that walks through it gets revealed for 20 seconds or something like
That's a
that.
good one.
I mean, that's the only, or obviously it's got to be longer than 20 seconds to be worth any type of gold.
Right.
But that's the only way. Because if it does damage, it'll never do enough damage to kill, so it'll be pointless.
Yeah.
If it snares them, you'll never be there in time to follow up, so it's pointless.
Yeah.
It's
So it's like a super ward.
A
it's not
tracking
even a
ward.
Yeah, it's a
doesn't
tracking
give
ward.
Vision of anything unless somebody trips.
I mean, so well,
It
you would
sounds
have to
good.
you
It's
would
like
have
a
to let it be
proximity
revealable.
ward.
You would have to let it be revealable. What you do is you'd say you put it down, and they could put a ward near it and see it, and then they could destroy it. If they walk through it, it puts tracking on them for 30 seconds. And
minute
30
and a
seconds is
half.
good because that way you can tell if are they continuing their jungle route or are they going to.
But it has to be better than a ward. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Because it can't be 30 seconds. Wards last a while.
They're like 4 minutes. Yeah.
No,
Right.
because
But if
30
it
seconds
lasts
tells
too
you
long.
exactly where the biggest threat on the team is for 30 seconds. So it doesn't have to last longer than a ward.
Oh no, it wouldn't have to last longer than a ward. But I think maybe a minute. Maybe. That's a bit long.
Hmm.
45 seconds, 30 seconds, 10 seconds. Might be interesting.
Yes, let's put Artemis traps into the shop. That's good.
Yes.
I like that.
All right. We have our next caller. Probably. Most likely.
Probably, most likely.
Because that's what we do. We do the best. Yes.
So, Mr. Bullet, are you here?
Senior Bullet
Yes, sir.
of the 10th
Kid.
variety.
10th?
10th.
Okay. Because if he's the 11th one, he's
Yes.
done.
So, what is your question, sir?
My question is a little bit adding on to what somebody said earlier about adding more lanes. Do you think if they stretched out the map like somebody else had said and maybe added 2 or 3 mini lanes between the already sanctioned 3 lanes and filled those with camps, maybe those might work out without having minion towers on those? They were just pretty much like high-speed lanes getting from one lane to another filled with camps?
Would they cross?
Well, yeah,
Would they go perpendicular or parallel? The current ones.
They'd go parallel with the same lanes and maybe jettison back into the existing lanes at intervals.
Sedibus Paribus, they'd have to be really weak and not worth a lot.
Yes, they're just there for, like, you know, when lane downtime, you got a little second, pop over there, grab something. Maybe if they had buffs over there, they'd be worth half of what everything else is worth, like half the time, half the damage increase, half the speed increase.
But they'd stack. I like it already. Give me those percentage stacking damage.
I don't know. I mean, it kind of, like most people say in the chat, just seems more like the jungle. It's just the jungle. I believe a lot of people believe that it needs a slight rework or tweak to work with this because it's just in its current state, a full-time jungler isn't. It's either too strong or too weak. It's really hard to make it work.
I actually think they've hit a nice in-between here, and people just need to change their mentalities before we keep changing things. I mean, obviously, I will go so far as to say is the next thing they need to change will be the jungle, if, you know, this is the route we're going, but
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of.
I don't know how necessary it is yet.
I guess High Reds needs to state: do they want to stick with this, or is this something that, like, Focus might get revoked if there's enough yelling?
Well, I remember Focus.
While we're at it, revoke Neathel.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Focus. Like, no one liked Focus. Like, it was like an
There are a lot of people that like
80-20
Focus.
thing.
Yeah.
This is more like a 50-50 thing.
This is much more for.
Yeah,
Well,
because I loved those like 4-second Ymir stuns.
do you guys? I guess like the survey said that they sent out today. If a lot of people got the survey from High Res, it asked, do you want the 2-1-2 to be like the thing? Do you want jungling to be the thing, or do you like this option between? And like, I guess I'll ask the panelists first, and then our caller. What do you guys think is the best role? Do you want, which one do you want to see the most? Good luck going inside.
Well, I actually I can understand that Tyrus wants a faster game and more ganks, more action. I can totally understand it because the 2-1-2 is a little bit boring on ganks. I mean, it's a lot of tactic and 2v2 on a lane, and it was a lot of fun and I loved it. But I can totally understand when they want more jungling. But I'm not sure if a jungler is the right thing at that point. I mean, why wouldn't you add something like the teleport and make it maybe viable for a gank from the 2-on-2 lane that you can teleport and ally to your position?
Like God damn it, I just forgot her name.
For the record, we tried this with Portal and nobody picked it.
Yeah,
Yep.
because it was not.
Also, Athena.
Yeah,
It
Athena.
sucked. Yeah, the portal sucked. I mean,
Have we seen how broken Athena ults are at this point? Like,
maybe with the right work on
Hey,
it,
I
it
got something
might
real
be
fast
good.
to talking about portals and with Athena's. Do you imagine a god that every kill they get drops down a ward and say their ultimate was to jump to said ward, almost like Neith's wards where they were placed down, but only on a kill. And then let's say that jungler was going around and shit, left lane's having trouble. Oh, I just killed somebody over there. Hop over there real fast. Take a couple second debuff on damage, and then I'm back in the game over on left side.
Ooh,
I'm gonna go ahead and say
I don't think.
no, because fuck global ults. And that's the last time I'm gonna say it.
Oh, what's wrong with bolts now?
Yeah, and I don't think that would work at all. Add TP scrolls.
Just saying. And I hate to compare to League. I this is my least favorite thing to do is compare to League. But League nerfed all their global ults. There was a reason for that. Hi-Res. That one guy Bart mentioned yesterday. Make another one. I'll find you.
So Bart mentioned yesterday that basically they have the guy who designed Neith also designed Athena. Also, didn't he say designed Thor too? And Apollo.
And Apollo.
It's like, we see a trend here. Stop it.
He likes to use the whole map as his map.
Yeah. The whole map, I like it. I want to be there all the time. Yeah. So, Athena's, she's still going to be banned this weekend. Because it was, right?
I like the change to
Yes.
her skills. It was amusing.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, was that mostly your comment suggestion, Mr. Bullet? Did we answer it or talk about it enough?
I think so.
I think so. He hung up.
I think we're good.
So good.
All right.
So good.
Great. Well, we have. Did you guys have anything to add before we go on to our next caller?
Not.
We were
on
just
that,
loaded
no.
with callers today.
We have a great topic.
I know, right?
All right, and you guys can call us up on Smite Talk. You'll see it down here in whatever corner
thing.
that is for you guys.
Yes, it's the bottom right. For
Bottom
them
right for them
as well.
Yeah, just like us. So yeah, call us up. Skype, Smite Talk. That's all it is. We're here.
The
So,
jungle shark.
on to our next caller.
Although I still think that they ought to change one of the ogres to a land shark. That's all. Just the model. They can call it the land shark.
Don't want sharks.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mr. Flynn. How are you?
Mr. Flynn, welcome to the show.
So what is your question
Well,
and or comment?
what I have to say for the jungle, I'm bringing this back from Ep99,
Okay.
my brother. I
sorry.
say, how about like a small mini boss that everyone has to defeat, like while all the minions for the tower are frozen, and you can't destroy the towers at all.
Oh, like those iOS games.
What?
Wait. So you're saying a mini Bastet? You said?
Boss.
What?
Boss.
Oh.
Boss.
Okay,
Boss
so,
fight.
so
I thought he said Bastet too. I was
I thought he said
confused.
Bastet at first.
Mini best stats
Okay.
and F freezes.
So-
and you have to-
So is this happening after the jungle is cleared?
Well, like if the jungle is like completely overrun, like someone stays in the jungle for like 20 minutes or so, they're just. Sorry, I can't laugh. I see what you and Zero are doing down there, Demon. I can't laugh.
Basically, I don't think
Um,
so. I mean, it's probably a fun idea, but I mean, now we're getting off onto crazy idea land. That'll
I
never
don't
happen.
know, but I'd say like have like too many people were ganking and stuff like that, and the game recognized that, and they send in like a mini boss.
No, because that's
asking
That's
people
too
to
much
break the
bang.
game.
That's too much PvE.
It's literally asking people to break the game to find what the most efficient way to get this.
Well, what
I
I mean
mean,
by
it's
if
also-
if one team kills the boss, one row of towers will get destroyed.
Whoa.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right
I'm
there.
gonna have to
How
stop
are
your
we going to
conversation.
I'm gonna have
Bang.
Ideas
I
of-
don't,
I'm
I
gonna
don't like
have
to slow
to,
people down, but I'm gonna have to halt you right there.
Yeah.
And just go ahead and say no.
Wow, that changed quickly and
I-
escalated very quickly.
Yes.
have
It
a bunch
escalated
of
quickly.
minions in that jungle.
Yes, let's just put Godzilla
Is
in the
this?
game.
Am I on punk? I must be on
It's
punk.
mostly legit.
Dude, he's gonna have a global ultimate and a teleport. You know this, right?
Yes, he will.
Oh god.
Or just add like a bunch of like minions into there where the jungler has to kill them off, but they don't receive any XP or gold.
Yeah.
Nah.
Then they'll just sleep.
Or with
PvE,
all these
PvE.
ideas coming in, let's not add anything. That is going to hurt
Here's the list.
jungler.
Here's the list of two not to do.
Why don't we
Not-
just
not-
see how this all plays out before we do anything else? How about
Godzilla.
Please keep
Godzilla.
calling in with your suggestions, but things that hurt the jungler out of the ground from nowhere are not.
I do like the tracking ward that Scythe had. That seemed to be interesting.
Yeah.
See, I was kind of trying to tweak that to where instead of fully tracking him, what if you had somewhat of a delayed trail that either shows on the mini map or in the game,
that's
like a
essentially
purple
tracking.
smoke.
That's
No.
essentially
Instead
anyway.
of keeping on him 20 like the full 30 seconds, you don't actually see him. You see a trail that's delayed of where he's been. That way, because I personally think if you're watching the jungler for 30 seconds, that's kind of stupid. There's no point of jungling.
That's really long. It was pointed out to me after the fact how long 30 seconds in
Yeah,
it really is.
I mean,
and I have to agree.
6 seconds, but I wouldn't. 10 is even.
Well, I mean,
10
if
is
you
too
don't
short.
do anything, if you do
10
10
isn't too
seconds, then
short.
nobody's ever gonna buy it.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's worth it anyway. I still think actually having a sense of where the fuck people are on the map will beat everything, and
Yeah.
real wards will always win.
I mean,
But
I think at the moment, people need to figure out a path for the jungle, figure out what other people are picking as that normal path, and then try and time it. Because at the moment, what makes jungling so darn difficult is that you're like, I don't know what path he's going because we just started. He's probably a retard.
Well,
He's probably
I think-
going red, blue, then red to blue again, and
I think that's
screwing the other
most
side.
interesting- I think that's the most interesting thing so far from a competitive perspective because I don't care about
Completely
junglers
ignored
and,
you.
and
I
casual too.
haven't said anything for a while.
But like in order to know somebody's jungle path, you actually have to do your research. Who'd have thunk it? And in casual queue, it's probably going to default to whatever the quickest thing is. Whenever we figure out what the quickest thing is. But
Yeah.
you can't because of the jungle in the state that it's in. You can't. There's no path to clear because you will have downtime. It's now okay. This is gonna come back up at this time. What do I want to prioritize? Do I want to gank? Do I want to be ready for this when it comes up? What do I need to do with my time? So it's more strategy element in the actual game, in the actual jungling itself.
Yeah.
Still on Godzilla.
Do you think that it should be kind of an effort to make it to where there will be very little downtime in the jungle, to where once you finish clearing, something should be back up, so you either have to choose
No.
to go get it or gank?
If you have
You just listen to me?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I just answered that question.
Yeah.
Go watch the VOD later.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
go
will.
watch the VOD at whatever
He was
point.
distracting me.
I was.
Sorry.
It's true.
This is the problem with producing your own show while you're running it.
Because you have to produce.
You have to do other things that aren't listening sometimes.
It's like being the actor and the director.
Yes. Cut.
But still, I think you can make the jungle viable. You can do so much stuff. You can change the map. You can do this. You can add buffs. You can add a land shark. It doesn't matter actually. In the end, it's all about this jungler. He's moving around. Solo lane is waiting for the gank. Middle lane is waiting for the gank, and right lane is probably waiting for the gank. It's all about this guy.
Yeah.
And 4 people are just sitting there waiting for this guy, and all these 4 people are bored. I am so bored since the mask was released. I'm so bored that I really considered not to play it anymore because I'm so bored.
I'm going to say directly to you that you're not so much waiting on this guy as you are waiting for somebody to tell you where he is.
You're scared. That's what you're waiting on.
Which should come more often than not, that you know where he is if you're playing the game properly. If you have 5 people on your team playing the game properly. Now, casual queues, you're going to be scared all day. I don't care about you. Deal with it. It's how it is in every MOBA. Casual queues suck. Arena's that way. Domination's that way. Assault's cool. Sorry. But at the high tiers, you should know where he's at.
Or at least have a good idea. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but 99% of the players of Smite are not playing competitive.
Yeah.
99.99.
Yeah, so we shouldn't.
And
We shouldn't.
It's definitely not 1 out of
focus
100.
too much on competitive. When we say, okay, we're gonna add something, only competitive player who play like 8 hours a day and who know exactly where to ward and when to ward and which way to go and who studies the enemy's pathways and how to counter jungle them. It's like, it's so crazy. Like, this is really crazy. Like, studying the enemy pathways and stuff. This is insane. And
this is something that I've said time and time again, is that you do have to cater to the casual community, because if you don't have a big casual base, you're not going to have the viewers for the pro teams.
That's I mean,
I will say again, though, casual queues will default to a set path given time.
Yeah, they will.
Probably already haven't already.
It's a brand new mechanic
Can get used
into the
to it.
game.
But the issue is, you say you want to cater to casual queues, but casual queues got to realize, even if you're playing casually, this game has strategy roots. You have to be using your brain and not just looking for kills from fucking start to finish. Like, if you're not doing some sort of mental work while playing this, then you should really be playing COD, because guess what? I can look at somebody and pull the trigger in COD, and there it is.
They're dead.
I love some COD. Put a
Like,
little
it's very
basil
tasty.
and,
I mean,
That's the fact of the matter. Like,
yeah.
there are casual SC2 players, but guess what? Casual SC2 players still realize they're playing a strategy game.
Yep, because it's a strategy game.
And I mean, like Seiss said, I
Says
hate
it on the
comparing to League 2, but let's get something straight. League of Legends players, a lot of them are probably wearing some pretty big, thick helmets. Like, they're stupid. They are pretty bad and stupid. But because the jungler's been in the game since the start, it's natural to them. They know where the jungle paths are. They know where these warding spots are. This is something that was thrown into us a week ago, after a year and a half of the game being in. So eventually, whether they like it or not, solo queues and the pub games, they'll adjust. I mean, whether you haven't played in 6 months and you're just hopping in now, if you never even watch a competitive game in your life, just naturally playing the game, you'll learn, I keep getting ganked from this spot, I'm going to put a ward there. It's going to force you to change your play. So eventually that will change. The pub games will follow the strategy. It's just how good that strategy is going to be compared to the competitive level.
What about, I mean, on a totally different thread of that, do you think that throwing in a jungler will help entice more people to come to the game from other MOBAs, because it's a little bit more familiar with the jungle role instead of
I'm
getting
a
in
jungler,
here?
now I'm not.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there's probably tons of League players that have said, I'm a full-time jungler, I destroy added in League, no jungle, buy Smite. And now that there's a jungle, or at least a potential to be a full-time one, more players will come over. I mean, there's always those people that look at simple little things like that. Is there a jungle in the game? No? Okay, bye. Like, there's always going to be people like that.
Is there a hot chick? No? Okay, bye.
And pick it apart. But yeah, exactly. Is there a guy that shows me side boob? No? Okay, bye.
Nope, bye. Sorry. You know, it's just how it is.
But it's don't you think that Smite is so unique? I mean, you have the third person, you walk with WASD. It's so unique. Why do we have to copy everything
Yeah.
else? It's like LoL is like so popular, and why do we have to do exactly what LoL does? Why can we just go our own way?
Yeah.
Why do we
I
have to
agree.
keep on copying stuff?
I'm gonna go ahead and say lines will be drawn, similarities will happen because Hi-Rez is aiming for Smite to be an esport. LoL is a very successful esport.
Very.
Now,
But LoL is
they're
very
trying to
different,
keep-
though.
They are, and they're
It
trying
is.
to make a very action-packed game. And regardless of how you may feel about it, having a jungler will inevitably lead to more action, or better, I should say, more well spread out action
one
than
guy.
2-1-2 lanes. No, not for one guy.
Because
See,
he's
this is
attacking
this is
someone
the big
else.
mistake you're making. You're saying that everybody is just waiting for the jungler. I'm telling you that as soon as somebody gets a whiff of the jungler, every lane will know how they need to respond to it. Whether it's mid lane who sees him right off to the side waiting to gank, or left lane who sees that he's nowhere near them and can now get aggressive on whoever's against them.
Yeah.
Very aggressive.
Why does Site's volume keep going up and down?
I have no idea.
Oh no.
His volume just likes to go.
I don't know. I did, Mike.
I don't know. It's weird. It's just like you'll be talking and they'll get like this now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, we can't hear you. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's Google or if it's the headsets. Anyway, continue.
And I mean, creating the action for one guy, you have to think, because the map is, and I'm going to be, I mean, maybe I'm throwing this in because, you know, I personally think that making the map bigger will change it, but because the map's so small right now, let's say you're Neja, okay? Everyone else in the game is waiting for you to do something. You're scared, no matter what lane you're in, you're scared of that Neja. If that Neja attacks left lane and you're in right lane, the second that Neja gets back into the jungle, there's the potential for that Neja to be in your lane in like 5 seconds. Like, let's be honest, the map is small enough and Neja can get around quickly enough that he can be in your lane without you even having to push or having the opportunity to do anything. You have to literally be reacting like that. You have to keep top on everything. So even still, with this map as small as it is, there's still action every time the jungle does something. You have to make a play. But if it's bigger, it's going to create more action because you're going to have a bigger window of opportunity to create that action.
But it's going to take longer for you to get to the action.
Well, if I want to go help where the jungler's attacking.
Well, if you just want to go anywhere, I mean, if the map's bigger, it's bigger. It takes longer to
right. And,
get
that's
from point A to
perfectly
point
fine.
B. So.
And I think it needs to be that. Neja shouldn't be able... If I make a call that Neja's at red, it happens every game. I mean, me and Scythe play probably nightly. I'll call Neja's at red, and next thing you know, she's left lane. How the hell did she get there? Because the map's so small and she's so fast. It's ridiculous. You can't ward the entire map. You only ward certain places, and the jungler can just zoom left.
So find a way to counter it. I mean,
I think
this isn't a new thing. I mean, Neja's speed hasn't changed in the last patch or two. I mean, that's always been like a
thing.
It's always been
Right.
small.
I'm not
People have
saying
always
it's
been
the
able
speed.
to gank. People have always been fast. And say that person was in mid, they can go either lane, and if once they disappear, they can always just go back. I mean, or double back. I mean, this isn't a new thing. We will figure this out. We'll figure out the timing. It's new. You don't.
Well,
the timing is not quite there yet. You will get it. I believe in you, Cooper.
Me? What?
I guess one of the big
Talking
things
about?
is like when they originally went from the big map to the small map, they said it's because we don't have a dedicated jungler. We wanted to have more lane ganking because we wanted it to be easier to get from right to left, right to mid, left to mid, whatever. So now that they put in a jungler who's always in the jungle, I would have to agree with Cooper that they need to make it bigger to where it's you don't always have to have wards all the time to know with the junglers in the right side or the left side because you could be either.
But they'd have to
all
make
the
it
time.
a lot bigger.
They
Like
25% bigger would probably be a
So
good start.
imagine the amount of time it takes to get from, say, lane to the equivalent spot where either Gold Fury or Fire Giant is standing.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily to them, but standing. Not very much time. You're gonna have to get a much, much bigger map in some dimension, or harder to move jungle to add more than 3 or 4 seconds onto any travel time between lanes.
What about actually kind of changing up the jungle to where you have to go around more stuff instead of just having pretty much straight
Makes
shots to
jumping
everything?
gods the best
That's true.
junglers.
Well, it makes jumping gods the best everything.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, isn't that kind of the case already? If you don't have an escape, you aren't really
Teleport.
awesomely picked. Or some sort of dash.
And the whole point to the Neja speed thing wasn't to say that she or he is any he's like OP, he's fast, he can get everywhere. It's that, yes, you are correct, he always had that speed. He could go from lane to lane in the same amount of time. But now he's getting XP as he's going from lane to lane. That's
More
the
XP
difference
than
now.
he would have otherwise.
And
he wouldn't have gotten any otherwise. So
yeah, that's another thing. Spook just reminded me in chat. Changing up to this has opened up a lot of gods now. Like, before, people wouldn't pick Neja simply because she could get crushed in lane and then you'd be done for.
Mm-hmm.
I got, when this game started, Odin Bastet was a thing. It was a huge thing, and then better gods got implemented, and Bastet was never picked. Shing shat on me with a Bastet the other day. Literally shat on me the other day. Like, it was ridiculous. We're going to see more things, and at the same time, it's going to shut some other things out of the picture. But another good thing to this is just we're opening up our god pool again. We're seeing what we can play with again. We can now make even more different kinds of gods, hopefully without global ults.
More global ults.
To give us some more variety. Like, I want to see now more Vulcan-esque gods where we have deployables that can act as, maybe jungle zoning tools, lane zoning tools, whatever you want to call it, to make
missile
this
launchers.
work. Because this, no more missile launchers. Those things hurt.
DOD, baby.
I'm still waiting on my curve
We're
skill
opening
shot.
up the pool.
Your pure skill
you can't
shot?
hit straight shots, so...
Yeah.
I mean, on her?
What?
You say someone has pure skill shot, they can't really do any damage to you unless they hit their
curve
skill shots. Oh, okay.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah, that would be sick. Like, you
It'll be
shoot it,
so
then
much
you aim
fun
it
to
after it goes.
aim.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. It'll be like...
It's a slow ball, but you can aim it. Like...
But still,
Anyway, go ahead.
even though you change like a lot of stuff to the jungler, you still fight 2v1 and 1v2 and 1v1, and that's crazy boring, isn't it? It's like zoning,
1-on-1 is like 3
PvEing.
middle lanes.
Now, one thing I will kind of mention is that playing as the jungler, I probably was doing it wrong, but it seemed kind of dry because it was like go to buff, go to buff, go to buff, go try and gank, go to buff. Yay. I'm so happy. I'm just running through the jungle.
Well, that's what the jungler was in League of Legends.
It was.
I mean, that's exactly
Granted,
it. You go to buff, you go
in
to
League
buff,
it was more exciting because you
No,
were
it
going to
wasn't.
gank versus in League when you're in the lane, you're just like, oh, I'm hitting a creep. I'm hitting a creep. I'm hitting another creep. Versus
Honestly,
in Smite, it was more, when it was 2-on-2, it was more like, I'm hitting a creep, I'm hitting a creep. Ah, I got you! I'm getting a creep now. Ah, I got you again! Let's get you again, Granted, I'm probably doing it wrong.
But I mean, there's a reason why we're playing Smite and not LoL and Dota, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I like WASD.
Yep.
I like shooting.
All right, we have a repeat caller.
A repeat caller.
Yep.
Can't wait for this.
Well, this is an idea I just came up with, but what about debuff in the jungle?
What do you mean? Like,
Like
when you get it, you apply it to somebody else? Or
well, when you're in the jungle, you have like a small debuff of recharging, like cooldown on your abilities, and you'll be a little bit slower.
What's the counterplay to it?
The counterplay, if you have like 2 people in there, the debuff goes away a little bit.
But what 2 people are going to be in the jungle long enough for that even to matter?
Well, the debuff has like slower regeneration because you're trying to be all stealthy in the jungle, right?
Sometimes you want to be big and flashy and scare them away.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that darn Devourer guy. God, but anyways, if it was like debuff, like a small debuff in there when you're in the jungle, it will actually give the other team an opportunity to take them down without them getting killed instantly by ganks.
Now, one thing I have been thinking about that I noticed the other day when I was playing was, what about the gods like Ra, who, when they're in the jungle and they use abilities, you can see it from everywhere? Because it's like, oh my god, there's a giant laser beam going zzz, and it's in the jungle.
Walls.
Where am I going to go now? He's in my jungle. I see him. He's right there. Versus
Like,
the other gods
where
that don't
they can't
have
shoot
that.
through the walls. They can't not shoot through the walls, and the trees could be like higher. They are magic proof.
Well, I mean, like, you know, is that something that needs to be adjusted or fixed to where you can't see his beam from the miles away, or is that something they need to do on more people, or you know?
Trees can be a little bit higher where they can't really see it, but also you cannot shoot any projectiles out of the jungle.
No. Because you have to think of later in the game too.
Yeah, but it's still
and it can't change.
Probably make it a good idea.
Because that would be confusing.
Oh my god, it's raining. It's making it hard to hear.
It's raining. Yeah, so we can't hear. Tin roof, all that stuff.
Sorry, no. I don't think we can go with the debuff.
If you're adding something into the game and it doesn't have a clear-cut counter to it, shouldn't be in the game. That simple. Or it's at least not balanced, and it needs to be fixed to be balanced, because everything in this game so far at least has some sort of, whether it doesn't counter it all the way, it has some sort of counter. You're able to get out of a stun with beat. You're able to immune the ridiculous damage Shobek puts out by an Aegis. You're able to do something.
Yeah, like
so
whenever
Go ahead.
I was saying, whenever you play with Cooper and Scytheman, you always put Demon Machine on their team.
Right. That's the counter.
Oh wait, I just came up with an idea.
Coop counters everything on its own.
The opposite of a jungle god. The counter of a jungle god.
A lane god.
A god that can go in there and kill them all. Kill the jungle gods.
Isn't that Thor?
You could buy an item. It's 1,000 gold.
To be fair,
you become the fire giant.
That would either be a stronger jungle god that could just one-on-one them.
No,
or
I mean by
another god like Vulcan with heavy zoning.
That gets a buff in the jungle that can kick out the jungle gods in there. Like the guys that like the assassins that are just camping in the jungle.
If they're
camping in the jungle, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, if they're camping in the jungle, by all means, let them.
Yeah.
I mean, just let them.
What I mean by those guys that just come out and kill you all.
Oh, that happens.
Like insta kills. Like the other day, I was having a problem with the Devourer God guy that just comes in here and kills me.
Yeah. I mean, that's Bakasaur's thing.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your call, sir.
All right.
We're
going to move on. Right. Okay. So now, since we can't change what's going on with the jungle right now, I mean, we have 2 votes here for they want to just get rid of it, a tap out and Kambu. I mean, you guys. That's generally speaking the sense I'm getting from you. You want the jungle gone. Cooper and Scythe like it. Several people in the chat like it. Several people in the chat hate it. So since we're stuck with it right now, I want to know who are the best jungle gods and why. Like
Neja. Jesus.
Did that nerf affect her?
Change this week?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, the nerf was good. So happy that happened.
Yeah.
It's just still OP. Neja.
She's still OP.
Yeah, still every game with Neja is still you're like, oh my god, don't gang me.
Is it because she can clear the buff so fast? What makes I mean the buffs and speed, the buff clearing and speed?
I guess it's just the ganks overall. I mean, she can get you so fast. I mean, she doesn't have to run up. I mean, he doesn't have to run up to you. It's just a instant sash. She's right up in your face, and then you can be ulted. And, you know. Your health drains so fast.
Yeah.
It's not like, Hercules jungle where he has to run up to you and,
hit you.
Then use his skills and has to hit. It's instant, I guess. It's just instant gank.
Now,
you don't really evade it.
Okay. I have heard Anubis is actually kind of does well in the jungle. I mean, he does well in the jungle because he's got excellent output of damage when to targets that sit still. It's just the problem is he's kind of useless where it comes to everything else again in the game, like he's always
Yeah,
been.
because if I was a counter jungler and I saw an Anubis, I'd be like, yes.
Yeah, he relies on the bandage.
Yeah, the
If he
wrap
misses
and
that, he's pretty much useless. It's all not one skill.
Yep.
And then you have beads, and then yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, B's just pure counter to him.
Yep. Beads run up.
Okay, so we have Najaz first. Is Fenrir second?
Oh, yeah, Fenrir. I mean, he can tower dive you really early. Unless you have beads, that's the only counter.
Okay. And then
But yeah,
Thor
his
third.
early ganks are just so scary. Thor, he's not as bad as Fenrir, I guess. I mean, he can teleport you really quickly, stun you,
Ult
and
from
yeah,
the
he can
middle of the
tower dive
jungle.
you with his ult, but it's not as scary as Fenrir and Nesha.
Because Fenrir
He's
can
probably
like
like a
Oh, I
secondary
would-
choice.
AD
I
carry
would
ass
say
out there.
that
Go ahead.
Thor is actually really, really scary because actually when you're on solo lane with a Guan, for example, and you're just waiting these awesome one-on-one two tanks poking each other, nothing really happens, and Thor is launching his ultimate in the fire giant room, and you cannot hear it outside, so it's a bug. So you just wait, and Guan ults, you have to Aegis or jump, and then he just dives in, kills, and goes out, and he's happy. And it's so much skill, really. It's ridiculous. Every time I face this combo, I know it's gonna be a lot of fun. Because as a range AD, you're getting pooped on. Because like when you jump as a range carry, for example with knees, and Guan just ults, you have to jump or use Aegis. And then the Thor comes in, and he's really funny and kills you, and you're like,
I like him being funny.
Yeah. And then he's all like, ha ha ha.
So,
yeah.
what can you do if you want to run a 2-1-2 lane and you want to shut down their jungler and not let them be stupidly...
Or what if you do a 2-1-2 lane and then just push them really, really hard?
Can
Take
that...
all your big buffs and then ward.
So keep him
And
from
you're
coming in
fine.
your jungle and taking your stuff?
Just do what most teams did before this. Have left lane take red and blue, and have right lane take
CDR
speed
and
and
move.
CDR, and just make sure you have any entrances to specifically the side lanes, but also your gold camps once they realize that you're not running a jungler warded. And if somebody tries to come and steal your gold camp, you kill them.
Yeah, but how are you going to
And-
rotate out of your lane fast enough while not losing too much creep experience to go in there and
Wards.
possibly catch them?
Wards.
Because
But I mean-
do you know how far, like how deep your gold
Remember how
camps
we were
are?
talking about how small this map is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
It's pretty small, and your gold camp is way... It's near your
They're
first
like at your
tower.
second tier tower.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, by the time they even realize you're coming or the Mia's called, you're there, and their only escape is either behind mid lane or to you.
Yeah. If you can corner them, they die. Unless they're jungling Ymir.
Okay. So, I mean, basically, we can still run a 2-1-2 lane and fight the jungler without... We're not going to get destroyed running the 2-1-2, even though they have a jungler. As long as we stay on top of our buffs.
As long as you're paying attention and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're perfectly fine.
So,
long as
do
no
you
one
want to...
dies.
Now, here's the question. Do you want to XP... You want to zone out the 2-on-1 lane? Or do you want to just push it really hard?
Always.
So you'd rather zone than push?
Almost all the solos you can't really push. They're able
Yeah.
to clear the wave perfectly fine. Anybody
So,
that can
Then
now.
that's one thing that I want to just complain about, because that's boring as shit.
Yeah.
Just zoning them out. It's like, yeah, I'm standing here.
Well, the nature of the game does not allow them to just sit way up front on you. I mean, they could probably force you to engage. I mentioned this yesterday too. If you're playing the right gods and if you're playing properly, you can force somebody to engage you to kind of put things more in your favor as far as getting experience, and maybe you get more action off of that. But you know, obviously you're not going to 2v1 at any point in the game unless you're really fed or they're really bad.
But
See, that's the-
when you're in solo queue, which a lot of the people
Yeah.
might be that watch this, they're running a jungle. They might not have the most ideal solo laner. So by all means, make them regret it.
So if they don't have a... So basically, you want to push if they can't clear a wave fast, because you'll be able to take down towers easily. If they can push, you want to try and zone them out, which unfortunately is boring as hell, but it'll win you the game. Or... do you... What if you pushed really hard then invaded their jungle because it's that one guy?
It'll be cleared by the time you get there, even if you push really hard.
And you would have to keep wards literally everywhere on their side of the jungle, which is not the most ideal.
But I mean, I want something to do
push on
instead
their
of just sit there and
timings.
zone them out all game.
You can push on their timings, which would make it more like the original 2-1-2, where about 4 minutes you start rotating the buffs. But like, just to pointlessly walk in and try to find them is kind of dumb, because you'll probably just get nothing and you're just giving a bunch of experience to the solo guy.
Yeah.
So, the jungle.
That's the jungle. Do
Love
we
it
want
to
to
hate it,
talk
hate
about
it
the
to love it.
patch?
What patch?
Patch.
The patch. I mean,
the
the
Zeus speed buff.
Here we go. Zeus still sucks. Ra can now slightly be faster than Poseidon
Zeus?
after
I mean,
burning a bunch
Ra.
of cooldowns. Nejad now is probably balanced, and
Athena was stupid.
Boombas is now
and-
probably balanced. There's your patch.
Cool.
I'm fighting Raw. Pretty strong mid. Jesus.
Raw's always been a pretty strong mid. A lot of damage and healing, so I mean...
But his burst now, I mean, his time between attacks is kind of become so much burst. Instead of like damage over time, you know, just you have reactions to dodge it. It's become kind of hard to avoid.
Which
kind
Ra are
of
you
a
playing
strong
and
boy.
What gods have you been playing him against that he doesn't still just rate
Well,
the first couple of levels?
It's kind of a rare matchup to go against mid, so it's kind of casual to show up against him.
Yeah,
At
well...
the moment, I've been like Agni mid against him. It's been kind of tough, a tough matchup.
There were very
He out
few...
heals all your poke, and just his damage is just too hard to avoid.
There's very few other gods who had damage
Time out.
beams.
You're getting hit by Raw Beam as Agni?
Well, yeah, I mean, you dash, you stun, you do flame wave.
Wait.
You know,
you're dashing into Ra as Agni? Done. Conversation over.
Yeah, that's how the pros do it. You run up to the magic god who's the strongest, the closer you get to him. Right? That's how you do it, right? So he can hit every single skill shot that he has on you.
I have no laughs for this.
But yeah, I mean, as far as Ra's beam, it was kind of crap that you could dodge it after the fact. Like, you could see it halfway coming to you, and then you can dodge it.
Yeah.
There wasn't any other ability in the game that gave you that much time.
Lead up time.
So I'm kind of happy they changed it. I'm like, oh, the
I think-
ability's halfway to me. I'm going to move over here now.
I think he's
like
become a lot more viable than he was. He's pretty decent mid, I think, now. But then again, I've not played too much against Raw, so I've not found a really good counter to him yet.
Tap out, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I really like what Faye from above wrote in the chat. He said, I've played both. I can tell you the new meta is 3D LOL.
3D LOL.
I can
3D LOL.
definitely agree with this.
Third dimension.
Okay, that's why it's less unique in that
I
he
mean,
doesn't like
it's
3D
an
LOL.
over-the-shoulder Dota. I mean, that's...
And it's kind of self-explanatory when it's always explained in the everything.
Like, it's
I mean,
this
in Dota-
genre.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
But
that.
I don't think
mean,
it's a 3D LOL. I mean, that the control scheme, the action, the pacing, all of that.
Because
The
LOL's
item,
not 3D, it's only 2D.
Yeah, it's 2D. 2.5.
I don't understand that comment. It's turning into a 3D LOL. It's always been League of Legends. It's always been Dota. It's always been Han. It's just third person. That's the only aspect this
Over the
game
shoulder,
has.
skill shots.
Over
Skill shots.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the emphasis on skill shots.
Thank
I mean,
you.
this is a MOBA. There's only one way you can make a MOBA, give or take, whether you want a jungle to be a permanent option or not. The jungle was always there. It's not like it just randomly appeared. It's just an item was brought into the game that allows you to do it really efficiently and not get behind when you gank.
I mean,
That's what changed. So let's not say this game's turning into League. It was always League. It always had that basis around the game. So it's just metas are going to change. It's going to change over time. It's just I don't know, that I don't like that comment. It's kind of
I mean,
Sorry.
as far as Dotas go, there's a lot of other Dota-like games that follow the same kind of mechanics. Like, even not quite as well-known games like Super Monday Night Combat, there was lanes, there was a jungle, there was all these other, various objectives, all that kind of stuff. It's a different take on the same kind of concept. That doesn't necessarily mean it's great or it doesn't mean it's bad, but it is what it is. It's a game type. So I'm all for it. I mean, over-the-shoulder skill shots. It's action-packed and fun. Way more awesome.
So I mean, then the question doesn't really comes if you guys want Smite to be less like League, would that make it more likely for success or less likely for success? I mean, because the overall goal of the game is to be, violently successful. That there's millions and millions of players playing the game, and that we have thousands of viewers watching everybody play the game. So is that more advantageous for us to be more similar to the currently largest game in the world, or largely competitive? I don't know what the hell you want to call it. Anyway, League, or less like it. Is it more chance for Smite to succeed if it's more similar?
the fact that this game is in the perspective that it is already changing that. We can keep the jungle, but just the fact that it's presented in the way it is, and there's the gods that we have and the abilities that we have, it's already creating Smite's own niche in gameplay. We can be very similar to League. It's just the way that we present it to the users is what needs to change. So
yeah, and
but you need to
go ahead, tap out.
Go tap out.
you need to consider as when Smite gets more and more like LoL, why would the people stay at Smite when LoL is way bigger and way bigger community?
Because
when only the 3D aspect is the only difference to LoL and Dota.
Well, let's be honest. Back in beta a year and a half ago, what were the only differences? Those were the only differences. Why did you ever start playing this game? Because this game is a MOBA that had people that you could pick, 3 lanes, and essentially it still had a jungle back then. It's just we didn't really know if it was viable or not. So the only thing that drew you to this game was the third-person aspect and the focus on skill shots.
And don't forget the gold buff and the persistent team buff.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it still had the basis of League of Legends. So it even had the 2-1-2. Everything was the same. So the same things drawing you to the game a year and a half ago are still the same things drawing you now. How much more like League could we possibly get? We've pretty much already incorporated everything. It's just how good can the jungle be is pretty much all that's left, and I guess last hitting. But last hitting will never be in this game.
No,
I honestly don't think so.
You can't do it as well. You can't last hit a ranged minion across over a wave, so that's why it won't work. Because you can't if you're standing.
Ranged minions aren't taking aggro in the wave, so that's kind of a moot point. But people do last hit in this game. It's not talked about, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you get a bonus.
Often.
Yeah.
A good bonus too.
Tap out. What was the reason you started playing Smite?
I don't know. I was actually tired of the other games.
Just got bored.
And I thought that Smite is something new, and I really liked that it is not exactly like LoL and Dota. So
yeah,
it's
similar. Yeah, it's similar. It has the same feeling, but a different flavor.
Because can you honestly say that when you started this game, you gave a fuck what the meta was? Like what the competitive
when I started
meta
this
was?
game, I had not a single idea of this game. So
yeah. So I mean, would it make it easier for people to get into it if it's more similar with the jungle role now? That it's like, oh, when I come in here, because one of the big things that we would always have to say whenever you got that Reddit post that says just came over from LoL, what do I need to know about Smite? The first thing somebody always posts is there is no jungle. Don't talk about it. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. That was like always the first most upvoted post. So now with it being a viable option, is that going to make more people come over? Oh, I like that you guys just implemented a jungle, so I want to get into it some more because I like jungling in League. Is that?
And it's also, I think the game itself, like the design, the feel, everything is sufficiently different to set itself apart from League of Legends or Heroes of New Earth, etc., because a lot of games, like in the past, 8 years, imitated a lot of other major ones and failed miserably because of it, or had a flash in the pan and then were dead. You see it over and over and over, whether you're talking about like shooting games or WoW clones or whatever. Like they were popular and then they died, and I want to say optimistically that Hi-Rez saw this like, well, our game has to be sufficiently different, but in the same vein.
Yeah.
To keep players, have it fun, action-packed fun. Because, I mean, if you go from playing this in the beginning to LoL, it's kind of boring at most players' level. I'm sure if you're competitive, it's exciting in the beginning, but not really if you're not. Whereas this, it kind of is. So, big thumbs up for fun games.
So I guess we'll wrap up the show with the final words on what you think of the jungle. Do you like it? You hate it? Why? And then anything you have left to say. So I guess we'll start. It's Scythe today. Instead of making him go last time. So Scythe, love the jungle, hate the jungle, and anything you want to say after that.
Love it. Definitely think it brings out more of what a MOBA should be. Don't see how it could be bad for Smite. Probably still needs to be tweaked in the future, but that's yet to be seen. And as far as anything else, nerf globals, and that's about it.
Okay. Tap out.
I like globals.
He likes what?
He likes globals.
No, I don't like the jungle role at all. I really like the 2v2 skill balanced game. I mean, you go to the lane, you know you're gonna face two people, you know who you're gonna face, and you know if you suck, you're gonna be bad and you're gonna have a bad time. And the point was to increase your gameplay, learn the combos more often, consider maybe combos to counter this, and I had actually a lot of fun playing these 2-on-2 skill-based games, and I'm really sad that it turned into a PvE who farms better and who ganks better one-player-based game.
Okay. All right. Cooper?
I like the jungle, the idea of it. I think it's not represented correctly yet. They either need to increase the size of the map or add more buffs. But I do like the idea. I don't think that it's copying LoL. I think that it's just another thing that's in the game. And as long as the developers, Hi-Rez, keep to the Smite theme of things and they don't, reduce it down to a just keep it Smite. Just keep it Smite themed. Keep the niche in there, and I like the idea. I think it should stay.
All right. So Kambu, Grayman. What is your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Hello, Kambu.
That's Kyo Kambu.
Kambu.
Me?
Yeah, your turn. The guy in gray.
What's up? Well, jungle at the moment, I think. Yeah, it needs work done. I mean, the map, I think it needs total rework. It's too small so far for jungle to be viable. I think it's kind of copying LoL and other MOBAs, but that's not a bad thing. It could become viable. It just needs reworks. The map mainly, it just doesn't suit it at the moment.
All right. Interesting. Yeah. All right. So, Demon, you have us a tournament thingy.
Yes, I have a tournament thingy. I guess. Do
it.
Yeah. Basically, all you people that have been asking about the casually competitive tournament. It's coming back! Yay!
Oh, that's awesome.
Yay! Yay! Right, tap out. You loved the casual, didn't you?
Yay.
You guys played it.
I loved it. I loved it. I was so happy that we had the opportunity to play against not pro players and find our way into the competitive scene. It was so awesome. I'm so glad that you did this.
Yeah, so we're bringing it back in a slightly unique fashion. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing two tournaments this weekend. We have EU and NA, and what we're going to do them is opposite days of the high-res tournaments. So EU is on Saturday and NA is on Sunday, and this is for anybody that wants to join. We're not going to have an ELO cap right now. We're going to, because hopefully the pro teams will see, like, I don't know, maybe they'll join. Who knows? But, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this first tournament this weekend on the Saturday and Sunday to seed our 2-week-long league, because we're just doing a test run basically to see how it works, what we need to fix, stuff like that. And so we're going to seed out the league. We're going to make divisions, basically gold, silver, and bronze, based on how you placed in the tournament. And so you get matched up against people in your various skill level.
No platinum.
No platinum. And maybe we'll do, I don't know, we'll find out what works best. And then we're going to kind of roll that up into a final tournament and roll with it that way. So, you know, I mean, this is basically just kind of a test run. Instead of having just the constant one-off tournaments, we wanted to get something that gives you more stuff to do during the week and gives us more stuff to cast during the week, too. Like, me and Mesmerize are going to try and cast games on the weekdays. We're probably going to try and focus more on the EU side because we have more time during the day and let, like, Cooper and some of the other guys do the evening games that are, like, this time of the night. And so, awesome. So we have a awesome...
What time does it start? Where can they go to sign up, Demon?
Where can they go to sign up? They can go to denialesports.com because it will be the Denial Casual Tournament.
Denial Casual Tournament on denialesports.com.
Yes, since we are now with Denial. So we're going to get it all set up for you. We'll post about where you can sign up. We got to make sure it's finalized and ready for that. But it'll all be working. We'll have our team sign-ups. You'll sign up your team. You'll get, basically it'll track your wins and losses and seeds and stuff like that. That's the goal. So we're making sure it all works with this kind of like this first 2-week test run. And then, of course, we'll take your feedback, what you did like, what you didn't like, if it's working out this way, or if we need to just completely overhaul it and try again. It's all up to the community. We want your feedback as to what you think of it thus far with the initial statement.
DenialEsports.com.
If it sounds reasonable, I mean, gentlemen of the panel, what do you think of this like 2-week like long where I'm shooting for each team plays 2 games throughout each week, so you get 4 games total, and then we'll use what's left to seed the next tournament, and we'll play that and have fun. Opinions? Reasonable? Stupid?
I like it. I think it's a great idea. It went over really well before, so I'm looking forward to it. How about you, Cambu?
I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yes!
Yay! Bring it on.
I mean, because I would like to get it to where you guys play more during the week, but the reason I'm only coming up with require 2 games for the week is I just want to give everybody plenty of time to get used to the idea of playing regular games during the week. And, basically don't sign up if you can't kind of make this kind of time commitment, but I also want to, the idea is it's casual, so we want to be able to let people who, that stuff.
Yeah, we think 2 games a week is reasonable.
Yeah. But what Tyler brought up was casual tournament with no ELO cap. That's why I'm doing the divisions. I'm not going to put Root in a division with me, who's terrible. They're not going to be in my division. I'm going to be playing up against other teams that are as bad as I am. I'm sorry for all you teams that are in my division.
Yep.
I'm not insulting you.
For you too.
Theoretically, it would be good to have Root versus Curse versus Snipe versus all these other teams that are in the top tier, and then all that other stuff. So
all those other teams can play. So we don't get main $1,000 NA tournaments with six people joining because there's no point.
Basically, what I'm going to kind of do is encourage the top teams not to play. You guys don't need to come and just raffle stomp noobs. Or not noobs, but the people who don't put in 9 hours a day.
That's their thing.
Whoa. and guys in the chat who are worried about being matched up with these top teams, we'll have admins there to organize the event. I mean, we're not going to put Root against a new team, so don't worry about that. Just sign up.
But then here's the question: if I put Root against Snipe in the first round, then it's going to ruin the seeding of the whole thing.
No, it's not, because it's not a sequential seed.
For the record, I doubt either of them will show up. I mean, Snipe. Snipe might, because Snipe just loves to play, but there's no money in it, so Root definitely won't show up.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
I mean, that's one big
'cause I
thing is that
needed
we're
my
not
one.
putting like any significant money or anything. We don't have any prizes at the moment, so I mean, right now it's strictly play because you want to play and have fun. That's the whole idea.
Oh, you might get your name on like a button.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'll get like notoriety. Is like the biggest thing.
We could write your name down when I post it. Put it on our stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other suggestions?
How did the tournaments go this past weekend?
Oh, this past weekend it was. We have the tournament winners thing. I gotta.
Ooh, do
we?
we?
Do this.
Do we have
Wait
a
for
pretty
it.
thing?
Wait for it. We do that, and then we do this. Bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum. This past weekend, over on the North American side, we had Root Gaming coming first, Snipe Gaming coming second, Denial NA came in third, beating out Reason Gaming. Over on the EU side, we have Bipolar Method coming in first with a very strong showing after being gone for so very long, which is basically Copenhagen Wolves. SK Gaming coming in second, and Denial EU coming in third.
Yeah.
Bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum.
Denial being third.
Quite a sad spray on as he got ganked all the time over in mid lane, and he was very upset about that.
He was.
He deserves it.
It was rather
That's
mad.
Shenra OP.
Favorite
Trust me, he does.
posts on posts in Reddit about that, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see if they can adjust and come back into first.
Can you
High Rock's
do
Burt,
it?
but so that's pretty much all I have thus far this week. I guess once we end the show, I'll stick around and talk about the tournament, and I want you guys to feedback and stuff like that. So we'll end the show here, so that way we can get on to the, basically fleshing out what we're going to do with the tournament and stuff. And,
Bye, guys.
And the league. So thank you all for joining me. Tap Out, do you stream anywhere?
What?
Do you stream anywhere?
Yeah,
like-
I'm streaming. I can.
Yeah, link all that stuff in chat, man. Tell us where we can find you.
link it in
Like
chat.
twitch.tv, Tap Out QQ.
Exactly.
Yes! Look at me knowing
Like,
things!
I'm streaming like almost every day for several hours. Not competitive because I don't have a team anymore.
No.
Okay, so you're a free agent.
But
so
I'm really
somebody's-
funny. Join me. I'm really funny.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll join you. What times do you stream? Like, I guess.
Oh, it's actually
Is it like
Central European time, 8 o'clock. So probably 2 o'clock
that's PM?
in your time.
I assume in the evening, not like.
Yeah, in the evening, of course.
Okay. So yeah, it's like 2 in the afternoon for us. Okay. So you
So
stream
join
for
me if
like
you
3 or
like.
4 hours each night.
Oh yeah, maybe even 6, 7.
Okay. Cool. So definitely a solid place to go if you're bored in the afternoon,
Of
or if
course.
you just want to watch some interesting play with Tap Out. Cambu, do you stream anywhere? I'm assuming no.
I do not. I'm forever alone.
Oh,
I
do you have the ability to stream?
No, not at the moment. I just play a ton of casuals, so you may catch me in a game,
Okay.
but not streaming.
Cool. Awesome.
And Sideband, you
But
stream,
tap out
right?
QQ, he bro.
Yeah.
I watch him all the time.
Nice. Scythe, do you
Yeah.
stream?
Yes, I dropped the link in chat.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So check out Scythe. Do you have a regularly scheduled streaming time, or is it just kind of whenever the hell you're on?
More whenever the hell I'm on enough to play casual queue. It generally winds up being from around 11 a.m. to about 5 p.m. Eastern.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I have a lot of free time.
Whenever I'm on, most of the day,
Yep.
every day.
Oh, no, I don't stream past that because I'm either doing ranked because of NA servers or scrims or I've
Practice.
gotten bored at that point. Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm doing something else. Time to watch shows. TV. Time to be on the River Styx. Exactly. Awesome. Well, Cooper would get his shout out, but he doesn't get it. Oh, wait, he's back.
Wow.
He got here just in time. He heard the fact that Cooper was going to get a chance to shout out something, and he's back. All right, do you stream anywhere, Cooper?
Yeah. I stream there. And shout out to Dawngate,
Yeah.
and Spray, and Scythe.
Woo.
Uh-oh.
And shout out to the jungle.
Shout out
Can I-
to the jungle.
Tap out
Can I
and
give a
Cambu
sh-
shout out to they shout at it to go away.
Can I give a quick shout out to
Yeah.
Bajunkin? He's a really good guy.
Duncan! Yeah.
Duncan.
Yeah, Bajunkin. Yeah, he deserves more, fame. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yes,
You
we
Big
like
ups to
Duncan.
Bajunkin.
Usually
Awesome.
a good guy.
All right, well, we're going to end the show here. You guys can stick around or go, depending on what goes on. So thank you all for joining us. We'll be right back.
Bon voyage.